Hey there everyone, it's Gomi. Today I'm going to be showing off the build that I just completed last night, which is the adventure game. I made a very simplified version of it, and what's playing on screen right now is footage of me testing it for the first time, which I'm having a little bit of a struggle with currently um, in the video. But also this entire video is in voiceover because I had some audio associated with this clip and the other clip that I'll be showing, but the other clip is sped up and this clip is, um, I sound really dead in the recording. So I thought it'd be better if I just went ahead and did voiceover. Now, in this build, there was a lot of experimenting with things that I'd never really done before, and mostly I think that was with coordinate grid placement, which is something that I'd never really done, and I just said that, but I worked on putting something together that was genuinely functional, just based on my knowledge of how logic works and not my knowledge of the game really itself. So I didn't know exactly how I wanted to do things for adventure, and I didn't know a lot of the logic concepts that I was working with. But in what you're seeing right now, I'm testing out the build and I'm showing whatever I had to do to make it work, because there are a few errors in it, most namely with, and I think actually maybe only with the full reset button, but the build itself is, I think, pretty good. It consists mainly of just the movement system. That probably took me like 8 out of the 11 hours that I spent working on this build, I'd say. Like, genuinely, it was a really, really time-consuming thing to do. However, the start of the build was just the 4 buttons, and then from there I made the coordinate placement system, which is just a counter, 2 counters actually, for X and Y, and then I also made the other buttons hook into a system that deletes from there, which means that I made an not entirely new circuit for this, but new because I had only ever done it on the Internet Project before, and this is the first time I'm really doing it to a capacity in which I can record it. And then after that, I started working on the system for moving between the rooms, so room rendering and movement, which took a very long time because every time I made one room capable, it would break something or whatever else, and I made a lot of rookie mistakes because I finished this build way too late at night. But I went ahead and did that, and then I had also done the inverse of that and a lot of one-tick setters, well, one-tick limiters, which all went into it and removed or added to where the player is, because like if I go through a room, if I go to the right if I go to a room that's to my right, then I should be entering the next room to the left, which means that I needed to make it show that, oh, my player's at the left after I go through this door. Which I did, and I did that for all of these, and it was a lot of trial and error to actually get this stuff to work. But I spent 11 hours making this build, 13 hours is the total recording time, and that recording will be posted in an unlisted video, which you will be able to get access to if you join my Discord server, or you can just message me on Discord, or whatever other way you think there might be a way to do it. But there is going to be, if I can post it, the full 13-hour recording. Or it's an 11-hour recording, but I in total spent an extra 2 hours dilly-dallying getting materials for the build. So that's not actually something that I can post, but the full 11-hour recording will be posted that will show off everything that I did in the build. And the build was done entirely during the End Times event, with some ideas that I hadn't really fully fleshed out before I started working on it. And it was a very difficult build to finish because I had to go throughout the entire thing with no real, true plan for it, which is why I think that uploading the entire audio of me working on it is nice, because anyone that watches it will probably be able to get at least a decent idea of how someone that's actively doing logic is thinking as they're doing the logic. And I think that is maybe a helpful resource for someone to be able to know from an unplanned out project. They go into there and they start learning, okay, this is how someone that's doing logic is going to think, and this is how I could think while I'm doing logic. But there is a win function as well. I don't know if any of the clips that I'm showing will show it. However, if you win, then the lights change. And this is submitted into a competition in the Lumber Tycoon 2 fan group, which I'm hoping to win. The results have not been announced yet. However, it will be announced very soon, I'm sure. The build is very, very small. It's a data size 2, and it probably only took so long because it was like a new field of me working on something, and I hadn't had the idea of everything that I needed to do. But I'm happy with the build. I enjoyed working on it, and I think that it's actually pretty cool, because it's the first time that I've ever made a build that, you know, took a considerable amount of time all in one session, right? So, I mean, I kind of took breaks, but I didn't stop recording, right? And throughout the build, you know, it was all during the End Times event, which means that it was, I don't know if it was the first, but it was probably one of the first logic builds of a considerable size that had ever been created exclusively during the End Times event. And there are, you know, considerably few bugs for me rushing through this as fast as I possibly could. Because, like, the recording so about 6 hours in, I was starting to rush as much as I possibly could. And that means that the rest of the 5 hours in that recording were me trying to rush and me constantly facing errors and solving them any way that I possibly could. And I think that it actually turned out really, really, really well for a build that was giving me so many problems and that was completely rushed. But the build itself is very, very simple. It's a simple design, and it uses circuits, mostly ones that have already been developed by myself, or in the case of memory gates. In the case of memory gates, they've been made by other people. They use a lot of ideas that I've used before, and it is a stepping stone for a bigger build that I will be doing. So hopefully everyone will be excited for that build once I finally announce it or actually get it out there or whatever else ends up happening. But that's about all I have to say about this build, and I know that I'm kind of rambling on a lot, but I wanted to talk about the build a little bit, get everyone knowing what's going to happen with the build, why I made the build. So I think that it's a pretty good video to just put out there. So, oh, also, the intention of this build, the original idea behind it was the adventure game, which I had thought of because of Ready Player One, which is a great film. If you have not watched it, you should watch it. I watch it like once a year, which might be a little bit much for other people, but I really, really enjoy the movie. And I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. You can go ahead and join my Discord in the description, talk to me on Discord, or whatever else you need. I will be willing to help anyone with any logic issues that they have, because honestly, if you have an issue, it's probably something, I'd hope that it's something that's not very simple to solve, and so I can learn a little bit from it as well. But that said, this video is now over. I want to keep it under 10 minutes because it's very much so just me rambling on and on. But I hope that you guys all enjoyed, and the sped up footage of me working on this build was satisfying enough. So I will leave you all to it. I hope that you all have a great day, and thank you for watching.